What is up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. This is Serenity Soul Invictus. I'm still out here, you guys, absorbing all of this wonderful serenity, this wonderful peace and calm. It's just so addictive. I don't want to leave, but I will shortly. Just wanted to drop this quick gem of a video for you all. I wanted to talk about detachment today, just briefly. I want to talk about the power of detachment and why and how you should practice this a little bit more in order for you to see things come to life in your life. A lot of people, when you hear the word detachment, you think that, yes, I'm still looking over my shoulder. You think that it means just like giving up on something. That's what a lot of people think. Instead of you going and researching that word for what it really means, you just come up with this natural assumption that it means to just give up on something, to become indifferent to something, to not pay attention to it anymore and just, let it go. You are right. You are right. However, there is further depth to the word, to the definition, detachment. In my book, in my definition, to detach from something is actually more of a release than a getting rid of, okay? And you can even look at it as further than a release. It is an allowing. So if you listen to anything dealing with the law of attraction, if you listen to Jerry and Esther and Abraham Hicks, if you listen to all of the leading gurus on law of attraction and all of that, you will understand these words have deeper meaning. So you would understand that the word detachment has a quite different connotation. Okay, you hear the words resistance a lot. You would hear the word allowing a lot, okay? To detach from something in the healthy sense, is actually to allow it to manifest in a healthy way, shape or form in your life. So look at it, for instance, when you were in, let's say, high school, and you may have had a crush. Let's say even like, your early adult years, you may have had a crush on someone, right? Here's a perfect example. You feel the yearning for this person to pay attention to you. This specific one person, of course, out of billions, right? But this one person, if they don't reciprocate your interest, your like, your love, your feelings, your affection, your emotion, it's like you can't live without them. It's like you can't be yourself anymore without them, without that clinging to you, to them, clinging of you to them and them to you. It's like that's the end of the world if that does not happen. Have you ever noticed that the moment you release, the moment you let that go, the moment you realize that you're going to be fine, whether they like you or not, you're still going to be your awesome self. Have you noticed that in that very moment you do that and you actually learn to let it go and move on with your life, that's when that person starts to notice you? Have you ever noticed that? Even in relationships, this is why certain things, we all heard of the no contact rule, right? This is why that works so beautifully well, because there is no longer any resistance. You're not clinging with all of your life, the desperate cling to a situation, a certain person, place, or thing. You're going to be fine whether they are into you or not. And so, as human beings, this is definitely something that we have to start practicing more and more. And you will see things start to flourish in your life. Take it from me. So, here it is. It could be a job. It could be a business. It could be, a particular study. It could be whatever it is, whatever it may be. Something that you just want to purchase for your home, for yourself, for your kids. It can be your kids themselves. Whatever it is, practice now the art of detaching yourself from the outcome so much. And it's not about not focusing, because we know that what you focus on, you have to focus on whatever it is that you want to attract. Energy goes where your, how is the saying go? What you put your focus on is where the energy flows, right? So you have to pay a particularly close set of attention to something in order to put that energy there, in order for that thing to start transforming. This is mental alchemy, you all. Spiritual alchemy, emotional alchemy is a part of the law of attraction. So you have to put that focus on whatever it is that you wish to see manifest or you wish to change first. However, not from a place of desperation, from a place of faith, from a place of confidence, from a place of knowing that it must change. A knowing rather than a believing now, because there's a group that I'm a part of. A lot of my schoolies, from back in high school and stuff, we have started to engage so much more because of this whole quarantine and all this crazy stuff that's happening right now. We have started to become, I feel like, so much more enlightened, so much more conscious and powerful as beings. And we were talking about, there was a discussion that I just entered, or I just noticed a couple of days ago, about whether it is more powerful to believe something. Because somebody had mentioned that if you study the word belief, it is, one portion of it says to be, one portion of it has the word lie, L-I-E, in there. And it's like, to believe something, to only believe something. When I look up the definition of the word believe, when I look up the word to believe something, it implies that there is an inkling of doubt in your mind. And so this is what makes the word belief or believe of limiting power, of limiting value. When you know something, to know means beyond the shadow of a doubt, truth, that it can be proven as fact over and over. Whoever comes along the way and has to examine this thing or evaluate this thing will see the exact same truth inherent in it. However, to believe is showing a certain glimmer of uncertainty. And so you have to know that something must change. If you have a bad tooth, if you have a bad leg, a bad whatever, right? You have to know that that is not your natural state. You have to know within your heart, mind, body, and soul that that is not the way it is supposed to be, and that will not remain the same. Your will, in other words, has to be stronger than whatever the situation is. And so the same thing goes now for your attracting or manifesting power. You have to know. And instead of just believing, it starts with belief, but it has to move on to a knowing. And from that place of knowing, from that knowingness now, you are confident enough. This is what enables you, it gives you the ability to detach, a healthy detachment, okay? Not a toxic attachment. A conscious, healthy detachment, meaning now that you will allow the universe to do its job in fixing, in transforming. Because remember now, you have already imprinted this image from the stage of your mind onto the mental imagery or stage of the universe, of the divine, that all-encompassing power of creation to fix the problem. And of course, your perspective on it is definitely of importance as well, because how you see things definitely shows a different reality. How I see something, my outlook on something may be very different from someone else's outlook. However, we are going to manifest very differently based on this perception. So you have to see something for what it is. You have to understand it from deep within. You have to go to the depths of whatever that is in order to gain full awareness. And so the ability to detach is not just like parts to a whole. All parts are important. All the parts come together to make one whole. And so detachment is just one part of a whole. But when you have already dissected something, you've already cut through the middle, you've already seen what it's made up of, its structure, its anatomy, all of that, and then you come to formulate your own truth about the situation, After that, then you are able to successfully detach and trust the process. And so, you guys, this is what I wanted to come to you all today. This whole pandemic situation, the detachment, the relevance to this video and what's happening out here is we have to actually learn to detach ourselves from all of the chaos, from all of the fear mongering. We have to detach ourselves from all of the ill choices of maybe our leaders. We have to trust the process. We have to actually know that all is happening for our good, for the benefit of all. We can't just get caught up into this abyss of fear, the abyss of suffrage, the abyss of confusion and lack, limitation, saying, oh, we can't do this, we can't do that. Yes, you can, but just maybe in a different way. Have you ever thought of it that way? If we stop paying attention to so many things that irk us, you'd be amazed at how it changes for the better. You'd be amazed at how we would become conquerors. We would become triumphant, in the midst of the most serious calamities. Like the 23rd Psalm, you guys, sat at the table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Do you remember that part? Okay. And so understand and trust that that is the case here. We can't become ill. We can't become ill unless we allow our minds to vibrate on that low frequency. We can't, do you notice if people around us, they say people have the flu? A lot of times you see people buzzing around, they're spraying Lysol, they're wiping down the desk, they're running away as though somebody has leprosy, and they're like, oh my gosh, I can't afford to get sick right now, like blah, 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 blah. Like, this job is my life. Nobody's going to come here and infect me. Adios contaminos, right? You would find more often than not, those are the very people who get sick. So you can just sit in your corner, hold your crystal, be like, of course you want to take precautionary measures, but, for the most part, you trust that your system is strong. You trust that your immunity is going to fight whatever it is that comes at you that's not your natural state, man. And so the same thing goes for the C word. The C word that has everybody in this perpetual state of fear. The statistics show very low rates. This is the same as people who catch the flu. Do you understand this? And so you have to understand detachment. You have to understand that what you don't put your attention on is going to disappear for the most part. For the most part. Of course, you're going to have your naysayers who are going to come on and be like, oh, you're living in this bubble, you're living in this fantasy world, you stay right there because corona, anybody can catch this, anybody can catch that. Yes, you're right. However, mind is all. All is mind. Okay? You start to practice mentalism. You start to understand how powerful we are as beings, being human. Check out the book, The Power of the Subconscious Mind. That is an awesome read. I don't have a copy with me to show you it, but you guys can look it up online. You can Google it. I'm sure they have a free PDF version online. If you can't purchase it from the store or from online bookstores, you can download it. I'm sure you can. And so just start to seek and you will find. Study to show yourself approved. All right? Approved. So learn to detach from the things that ill and irk your spirit, from the things that make you feel negatively, from the things that hurt your feelings, from the things that keep you lower, like I said, on a lower scale of lower frequency. Learn to detach yourself from these things. Even if the things that you want, learn to detach from them. Trust that you are good enough, that you are worthy for anything that you want to come into your life, and that you will be okay whether they do or they don't. Because it's only going to make space for something better if it doesn't. With that being said, you guys, I'm going to end it here. This is for those who want to hear this message today. If you did not, I urge all of you actually though to click like, to subscribe to the channel, to hit the notification, because I will be back. I have been receiving a lot of spiritual downloads. I would call them downloads. A lot of people say, oh, the Spirit told them this, Spirit told them that. Yes, but sometimes we have different aspects of Spirit that speak to us. Some spirits are actually our own that's speaking to us. Everything is not a download from some divine being, from some extraterrestrial or some celestial being. Some things are our own. Some things we have seen based on experience and understand them. And so when we have a little insight to something, it is important for us to share. And I would urge any of you guys, if you have not started a channel, if you're thinking about doing so, don't hesitate. Go right ahead and do it. Whatever it is that you're called to be doing at this time, start. You have to start somewhere. Use what you have, and you will see it grow. Okay? The universe is on your side. So guys, hit like, subscribe to the channel. Peace and love. Blessed be. I am out. Until next time. Thanks for watching, you guys. Love you all. And until I'm back,